Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to How to Tekxit. Well, Tekxit 3, I guess. Today we're going to be going over some of your most basic power generators, how to get a stable source of power, how to make power that sustains itself, how to make power that you have to do little effort to put into to get a lot of gain from. So, some of the most basic stuff that we're going to be using today is electronic circuits, using copper wires, steel, redstone, and copper cables. To make steel, you have to cook iron, and it'll turn into an iron ingot, and then you cook the iron ingot into steel. You can do it in a furnace, you can do it in an electric furnace, you can do it in anything that will cook up an ingot. So, moving on with the copper cables. To make a copper cable, you have to get rubber and copper ingots. And then you just, 6 rubber, 3 copper ingots. Copper will look like this in the world. And to get the rubber, you actually have to make a tree tap, which is just any kind of plank. You don't have to use oak plank. You can use, birch plank, darkwood plank, redwood plank, anything like that. You just use 5 pieces of it, make it look like a gun here. Make your tree tap, and you have to find a rubber tree. You'll always know that they're a rubber tree because they have these 3 leaves at the top, or sometimes they're 2 leaves at the top, but they're kind of just, I don't know, pointy ball trees. So when you have your tree top and you're looking around your rubber tree, you want to find these little, I don't know what you want to call that, copper colored like sacks. You just want to right click it and you'll get sticky resin. Now, with sticky resin, you're going to throw it into a furnace, and you're going to cook it into rubber. You can also throw it into an extractor to get more out of it, but we'll cover that in later episodes. So, now you have your rubber, you have your copper, you smelt it all down, now you can make a copper cable. Some of the other things that we'll be using today is glass fiber cables. Now, there's 2 ways to make glass fiber cables. You can use glass, diamond, and silver, which is my preferred way, and you get 6 cables out of it. Or you could use glass, diamond, and redstone. You get 4 cables out of it. The only real reason that I prefer the silver over the glass is just because this mod pack, as forgiving it as it is with its resources being everywhere, I mean, we're on a super flat world and I have iron and redstone just sitting in this little chunk here. But as forgiving as it is with resources, I've noticed that there is a shortage of redstone. Almost always. So I try to use redstone as little as possible whenever I'm making my machines. That way I can make it last for as long as possible. Let's see. Other things that we'll be using. We'll need to make bronze. So the use for the bronze is to make a wrench, because you need to be able to move the faces around on the outlets, I guess. The outlets and the inlets around on things like a battery pack. So, in order to make the bronze blend, you need tin dust and copper dust. So, the only way to get dust is if you have a pickaxe that has a smashing enchantment on it, or if you make yourself a macerator. The stone macerator is just powered by coal or charcoal or wood or anything that a normal furnace would be powered by. And in order to make it, you get yourself a piston, 3 flint, 4 cobblestone, and a furnace, and you get a stone macerator. Then you'll just throw your ore up top, and it'll slowly cook. Now, do be wary; it takes a lot of coal. I think it's 1 coal for 2 pieces of anything to be cooked. But you can also you can also macerate your iron, tin, copper, really any resource, and duplicate what you have into 2. So 1 iron will make 2 iron dust, then you can cook it up into 2 iron ingots. It's a super useful thing. So then you put your tin dust with your copper dust around it. You can do it this way. I think, yeah, it has universal building, so you can swap it around, whatever you want. Put it over here. And you get your bronze blend. Then you just cook that up, use 7 of it, make a wrench. Alright, the other things that we'll be using today is an RE battery. So you cook up your tin, get some redstone, make some copper cables, and use just 2 of all that, 1 copper cable, get an RE battery. You're going to need a few of those. The other thing we'll be making today with those RE batteries and the copper cable is a bat box. So this is what's going to store your power. You need 5 planks, 3 RE batteries, and 1 copper cable up at the top. And the other thing, or last I guess, is the electronic circuit. So you only need a few of these, and it's really only if you go towards the solar route, I guess, of simple power. And you'll need 2 redstone, steel ingot, and 6 copper cables. The steel ingot, once again, you just cook iron for a second time. You just take your iron ingot out of the furnace, put it back in, and you'll get steel. Alright, so your first most basic way of generating power will be a generator. Pretty simple. In order to make a generator, you'll need 3 steel, 1 RE battery, and an iron furnace. Now there's 2 ways to make an iron furnace. You can do 8 iron all around and it'll pop out an iron furnace, but you can also save a little bit of iron and use 5 iron, put it in the shape of a house, and then a furnace down at the bottom. Then you put it all together, make a generator, and you have it. Now you can put this electrical cable into whatever side. I just put it on the bottom just so I could see the face. As long as you can tell that it's connected to the machine, then you're good to go. So you can use multiple different kinds of cables. Your 2 most basic cables are probably the glass fiber cable and the copper cable. There's not much difference between them. I do believe the glass fiber cable transmutes power a little bit more efficiency, so you can run it for a longer distance without losing as much power, where the copper cable you will lose power the longer that you run the cable. In order to start a generator, you can put anything in there that is burnable. So you got wood, you throw it in, you can hear it start up, and you can see it start up, and it will just naturally generate power. Oh, so I have these connected to bat boxes, the things we were talking about earlier. Now, the only thing about a bat box is, let's say you put it down from this direction. If you notice on the front of these, they have this little hole here. None of the other sides have it. That little hole is where your output goes. So, since I put this the wrong direction, I'm getting 0, right? Nothing's going in, this thing's generating power, it's just going to store it within itself. Now, if I want to fix this, I don't want to break this, because it'll turn into I think it'll turn into either a machine block, or it'll just break. You can't actually break these and pick them up. So this is where you get your wrench, turn it to the side you want it to be on, and now we're collecting power. So, same thing with this one. You can throw some coal in there. It really doesn't matter. Everything, when you highlight over it, it'll tell you how many ticks it'll burn for. Obviously, wood does not burn for very long, but then you get coal, and it burns for 1,600 ticks. Now, this is a pretty inefficient system, and it kind of, either takes a bunch of wood, bunch of coal, bunch of saplings, whatever you want to burn, and it requires a lot of maintenance. Like, you can put a stack in there, but then if you're using a lot of power, that stack is gone in no time. So I try not to use generators, but if you are low on resources, this is very simple. The second thing that we have today is a solar panel. So this is where I'm saying that those electronic circuits come in. Now you can use your generator to make a solar panel, and you also need 2 electric circuits, 1 generator, 3 coal dust, and 3 glass. Now don't try to put your glass the opposite way, because it does not have universal building. You can also make charcoal dust, and it will do the same thing. So, for charcoal dust, or for coal dust or charcoal dust, you just go to your stone macerator, throw some coal in there, it'll cook up, and you get coal dust. So, with coal and charcoal, anytime you macerate it, it's only going to create 1. It does not duplicate it. Now, if you put coal ore in there, let's say you have silk touch, get some coal ore, you throw that in there instead of the coal, then you should get 2. There we are. So, you take coal dust over, make yourself a nice solar panel, and it's the same setup as these, I just don't have them connected. You just place your cables down. Once again, the cables will connect to any side. And this is a maintenance-less form of power. So I don't have to put anything in, I don't need to do anything, I just have to make sure that there's nothing blocking this, because if you see, you have a little sun there, put that there. Oh, even through that, it's still working, it's still going. Interesting. That shouldn't work. Don't try to put it underground. The only thing wrong with this form of power, in my opinion, is that it has to be sunny out. Because if it's not sunny, then it doesn't generate power. And it's kind of expensive. Because the electronic circuits, you know, they take 6 copper cables and then a piece of steel and redstone. And like I said, I try not to use redstone as much as possible. Because I always end up getting banged over with it. So our last really simple way of making power is through a geothermal generator. This is my biggest suggestion. And once again, hooked up like that. This, you cannot just put coal down here. It won't do anything. But what you do use is you use lava. The way you make it is you take 4 glass, 2 empty cells, a generator, and 2 steel ingots. So to make an empty cell, you just get 4 tin, and it makes 16 empty cells. They're pretty easy to make. This is what your silver will look like in the world in order to make glass fiber cables. This is what your copper will look like, and this is what your tin will look like. So, once you make the geothermal generator, then all you have to do is you can get a bucket, fill it up with lava, or you don't get a bucket and fill it up with lava. So, you get your bucket, you fill it up with lava, and you can just pour it straight in there. And it should start. And that generates a butt ton of power, and you can upgrade these up to a thermal generator at some point in time, but we'll discuss that in a later video. So the other thing you can do is you can get your, oh, don't jump in the lava. You can get your empty cells, and you can also pick up, okay, it is, whew. You can get your empty cells, and you can also pick up lava just like you were doing in a bucket, but it'll stack. So now I have 8 pieces of lava, or 8 buckets of lava, and you can either just right click them in, or you can put them down at the bottom. Now, the only thing bad about that, yes, can you get a lot of lava really quick, but it consumes all of your empty cells. So I just try to, bucket lava in. The other thing you can do is you can set up tanks and have them distributed into there, but we'll talk about BuildCraft once again in a later video. So yeah, that is your 3 most basic ways of generating power in the Tekxit 3 official. Stay tuned for more. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.